Okay, so here we are, June 16th, and I guess I should record because if you bust out crying because you're going to be homeless in 2 weeks, you could record, I don't know if I'm going to use the footage from earlier, but... It's like a tulpa tree. So this is the kind of person I am. I chanted, and then I was like, let me go to this Walgreens, which is like it's a convenience store. It's a store where you can get all kinds of stuff. And there was a man there whom I just was nice to when I was picking up my Western Uni money from my sister in the winter time. Gotta remind you guys that I'm African, so you don't start motherfucking whitewashing me, thinking I'm Hispanic or fucking French. I'm like, bitch, my father is from Southern Sudan. I got my, I'm like, protect me, Silent Night, protect me from these Oyimbos, from these demons everywhere, from the shit they're doing to the whole globe, makes it impossible to live here. I'm crying, coming home from work because waking up every day and surviving each day in the middle of all this, how it's always been, but now it's worse because it's just worse, okay? Coming home because you went to Walgreens and you said, let me ask that man who offered to give me the name or the number or whatever of the guy that he knows that gives him the cannabis so he can live. I didn't ask him, but he's you guys use the word Hispanic. And after I chanted, I remembered the other day I felt like my aunt, my African aunt, her name is La, that's my African name, Laa, and to my surprise, I was meditating and I had this feeling like she was present, and she was like, cannabis is not optional. It doesn't matter what xenophobia has created as the culture around it in America. Okay? Xenophobia is in when the Mexicanos came to America and the European fucking hypocrite monsters were like, fuck. Ugh. We fucking hate these fucking Mexicans. How can we fucking hurt them and make them not people and make them just like, And they were like, oh, they fucking brought this marijuana, like, fuck. The devil, yeah, let's just, what I fucking hate these people, okay? And that's like, I'm gonna say it, bitch. North Korea to me is just like my fucking heart, because I'm like, they're the only country that has a motherfucking, you better, if you try to fuck with us, bitch, we have a missile coming your way. I'm like, no one on this planet has the balls, okay? No one on this planet has the balls. No one has the balls. And this place is just literally the motherfucking it's just, I don't know how to explain this to you, the way I feel about America after how it made me fall in love with it when I was a kid in Russia, and now I'm watching, and I just, like Yeltsin, the president of motherfucking Russia, in the beginning of the 90s, calling George W. Bush Sr. I have something to tell you you're gonna like. The people of the Soviet Union voted 74% through a referendum. The same fucking way that you guys motherfucking decided that Crimea was not part of Russia and that Ukraine, a referendum by the people. That's valid. But the 74% of the Soviet Union who said we want to stay together, bitch. We want to stay together. 27 million of us died to fucking stop this bullshit right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. Born in the town of Sighet, Transylvania, Elie Wiesel was a teenager when he and his family were taken from their home in 1944 to the Auschwitz concentration camp and then to Buchenwald. Night is the terrifying record of Elie Wiesel's memories of the death of his family, the death of his own innocence, and his despair as a deeply observant Jew confronting the absolute evil of man. This new translation by his wife and most frequent translator, Marianne Wiesel, corrects important details and presents the most accurate rendering in English of Elie Wiesel's testimony to what happened in the camps and of his unforgettable message that this horror must never be allowed to happen again. Bitch, you did that random. He didn't answer. He was weeping. His body was shaking. Everybody around us was weeping. Someone began to recite Kaddish, the prayer for the dead. I don't know whether during the history of the Jewish people men have ever recited Kaddish for themselves. Iskadal, Veskadash, may Rabbah, may his name be celebrated and sanctified, whispered my father. For the first time I felt anger rising within me. Why should I sanctify his name, the Almighty, the eternal and terrible Master of the universe, Malek Abba, Malek Abba, Rachem. I'm not Jewish, but bitch! The Almighty, the eternal and terrible Master of the universe chose to be silent. What was there to thank him for? We continued our march. We were coming closer and closer to the pit, from which an infernal heat was rising. 20 more steps. If I was going to kill myself, this was the time. Our column had only some 15 steps to go. I bit my lips so that my father would not hear my teeth chattering. 10 more steps. 8, 7. We were walking slowly as one follows a hearse, our own funeral procession. Only 4 more steps. 3. There it was now, very close to us, the pit and its flames. I gathered all that remained of my strength in order to break rank and throw myself onto the barbed wire. Deep down I was saying goodbye to my father, to the whole universe, and against my will I found myself whispering the words, Yiskadal, Yiskadash, Mirama, Yahweh. Abba. Melech 1944. One of the most important works of 20th century American literature, Zora Neale Hurston's beloved 1937 classic. Their eyes are watching God. You know, I just think of, in terms of why was Hitler born? Why? Why did we die? Why did we die to stop him? Everybody hates us. I don't know why I'm saying us, because the Russians let me know so hard I'm a nigger, not a Russian, bitch. It's a joke, you know, and yet, I mean, I was born in Moscow, Soviet Union, 1988, baby, September 12th, you know. I'm still fucking here, and I'm not Russian, I'm Soviet, you know, I'm not Russian. Now that I'm watching as Russia is eating itself, as it's sitting with Ukraine, talking down to it, which is itself, while Hitler and Napoleon are present at the table, helping the motherfucking talks move along, and I'm just like, so while Zora Neale Hurston, who is she African American, correct? Is writing her book in 37 in Haiti. The concentration camps of Hitler's Germany with the fucking swastika, which they stole from the Indian subcontinent. You know, the swastika means all is well. The eternal nature of life. Europeans ruin everything once they appropriate it, bitch. And honey, they've appropriated culture and the narrative of history. And we all die in the concentration camps. You feel me? The concentration camps right now are some man is in a tiny room with no window. They euphemized it. They said euphemism, private prison. You know, these Europeans are demons who just want to murder. They just like it, you know what I'm saying? And you guys, it's either the Reich or we're free, bitch. I don't understand why you allow these things. In 1933 already, Hitler was the concentration camps were already happening, you feel me? In 1937, she put out this book, this grand book of African American, you know, and I'm like, if you're winning in America for the African Americans, don't worry, Europe got you. They're killing the Jews. This is the most important book to me. Alice Walker said, there is no book more important to me than this one. I'm like, there is no book more important to me than this one, because I read this shit in high school as per Michelle Obama's high school literature, like, I don't know, requirement that we had. I went to Michelle Obama's high school. I'm just trying to, like, put in anything that will make you guys have a little fucking, oh, curious, interesting, I wonder, because do you understand that this will always happen? Do you understand that this never goes away? Do you understand that this always will return? Because it's currently on. Do you understand or not? And they have these cute little devices, and you guys are like, oh my god, but like, do you have the newest one? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are so distracted and glazed and sleepy, and I'm like, you do know, like, this is not a joke, and yet people say Auschwitz didn't happen. You know, never shall I forget that night, the first night in camp that turned my life into one long night, 7 times sealed. Never shall I forget that smoke of the burning flesh of the Jewish bodies who were blonde. Sometimes, you know, when Hitler wasn't. You guys are so fucked up. Trump won, swastikas came out. I'm getting homeless in 2 weeks, so I'm starting to feel a little like, while I have a door, you know, while I have this, you know, this is not because Spencer Hastings. This is because I'm Cossack Russian, and the Kazaki of Russia were like the defense / warrior protection for the Russian Empire. And I can't tell if we were niggers who were just like killed off or if we were actually respected. I can't tell, but the symbols of the Kazaki, the Cossacks, Cossack, not Caucasian, just because people are so weird, like, not Cossacks, okay, is the horses and the goddamn motherfucking sword, and they would just, they're like brave battle, they never, like, you shall not pass, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, the Soviet Union wasn't birthed in the middle of the shooting of the Romanovs. We had a peaceful transfer of power when there was a Cossack involved, you know? And then some people decided to go and, you know, kill them. And I heard there was some British involvement. I'm like, of course there was some British involvement. It was some the Soviet Union, bitch. And then you guys just, I'm like, you can't have an entire country like the Soviet, you can't have the Soviet Union and then have it be betrayed and sold off like a whore, which is what happened by its own corrupted leaders, because 74% of the population said, Мой адрес не дом и не улица, мой адрес Советский Союз. Мой адрес не дом и не улица, мой адрес Советский Союз. I love it. I love it. When I hear it, the songs, when I hear the hymn, I'm like, yes, my country. Sold off like a whore by its own fucking people. The people said 74% we want to stay together. We love it. We're getting educated. We have all this shit. Yes, there's problems. Yes, we don't fucking figure da 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 da. We weren't around for like even what, like 80 years? Less than that. America sitting here for fucking several centuries being the Reich, original Reich. You know what I'm saying? No one gives a fuck. Everyone's sucking its dick. I'm like, wait a second, Bridge. I wish we had time. I'm sorry. The serfs and workers of motherfucking Russia didn't even get a century, bitch. You know, there's like, I don't know, leases on land in Hong Kong that lasted longer. Like, I'm just confused. You didn't even give us a century to figure it out. I'm so sorry. We went to space. Was that not good enough for you bitches? We stopped Hitler, bitch. 27 million. Oh, that wasn't good enough for you. America dropped 2 bombs on Japan for no reason. There was no war reason. The war was already ending. There was no tactical reason. They had the names for the bombs. They were like typical some like a 50s style bullshit, like big blah blah blah, little whatever the fuck, little buddy, some bullshit. They dropped 2 atomic bombs defacing this Earth space surface 500 miles away from Korea, whom I love, which I don't know why. Like, I feel like my husband's from fucking Korea, and I'm like, bitch, who the fuck, like, who is fucking with me? I'm like, I was at the beach today reading Zora Neale Hurston, and in the beginning, there was this, like, literally the first few sentences, sentence like number 3 or something. For others, they sail forever on the horizon, never out of sight, never landing until the watcher turns his eyes away in resignation, his dreams mocked to death by time. And I'm like, I'm not sure why that sentence is so fucking, like, thank you for writing that, because I have South Korea, like, literally as my background, because I'm like, I think, like, my fucking husband is, like, Baekhyun adjacent, like, someone like him is my husband, and I'm like, where, bitch, where? Don't you know I'm a nigger? Don't you know you don't know my history at all? Don't you know that the Catholic Church is the reason for why every single fucking man who's currently dying in solitary confinement in the private prison / concentration camps / slavery of America currently going on / legally, like actually, it's literally the Pope and Lee Tae-min's over here Catholic. I'm like, bitch, I can't take any of it. Do you understand? No one, like, I'm sick of all of it, and I'm not gonna be okay because I will actually be homeless in 2 weeks. I'm like, dreaming of what? South Korea for what? For what? How am I gonna get over there? I can't even be sheltered. I'm gonna lose everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I just want to say I want to say all the things that I would like to just kind of because I'm like, do you guys see it or not? What's up with all these world leaders? I'm so sick of all of it. I'm like, what's up with you guys? Why are you betraying your people? I just want to shake Putin because I love him, because he saved me from the 90s Moscow death, because see, when you raped and murdered the Soviet Union, you let in all this crazy depravity, because any country that is the Reich, like the United States, for it just any kind of innocence in any kind of country where people are actually trying, he just wants to rape it in the ass. And that's what it got to do. And that's what we fucking had in the 90s. It was actually no food on the shelves. It was actual depravity that you can't believe. Like the druggery, the sexual violence, the kids, the innocence just. Мой адрес не дом и не улица. Мой адрес Советский Союз. You got that dollar going though, bitch. They'll fucking sell your mother. And they did, and Putin came and he changed it all around for us. And that's why the Russians love him. And I'm like, Владимир Владимирович, вы почему не видите, что они делают? Ну почему? Украина, это мы. Почему никто не видит? Почему вы приперлись к афроамериканцам? Leave the African Americans alone just because you are betrayed in your subconscious, and you know, because 74% of the population can't vote yes. and then experience how, like, wait a second, I said yes, I guess you didn't want to stay together. I don't think the people know. It's still the Soviet Union, bitch, because the people spoke. Referendum that shit if you tell them. Tell them and then have them react. I'm like, bitch, you guys are still the Soviet Union. How do you feel about that? My father got a PhD for free. My mother got an apartment for free, and it's not in the boondocks. Because I was, like, it was real. He's from Southern Sudan, a war-torn country, no fucking opportunities, and they said, do you want to work hard and get an education, we'll give it to you. He said yes, and they said okay, and he married a Russian woman, and nobody lynched his ass. You feel me? I'm like, we were so... So the Russians are bothering the African Americans now, hating them, saying all this shit on the news channels I saw this past year. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, so you guys are this subconscious, but like shit in your fucking minds, because you're like, well, since we can't handle the fact that, like, we somehow got betrayed, let's go ahead and torture these poor people who got stolen from the mother continent of all humanity, and then the worst things ever happened to them. The things that have happened to the African people in this goddamn fucking fake-ass country called the United States lasted for centuries, and this bullshit lasted for about 12, 13 years. Leave the fucking African Americans alone, you fucking Russians. If you don't understand what the fuck happened with the Soviet Union when the United States raped and murdered you, that's not their fault. That's not their... Leave them alone! You feel me? Go figure out your shit. And I'm gonna try to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna, I don't know, extricate myself from my Russian identity, because I want to save you so bad. I want to save Ukraine so bad. I want to punch you in the face until you wake the fuck up. But yet I'm also like, I'm a nigger monkey to you. And you let me know, and I just don't really want to remember you ever again. You feel me? I just want to stay here in the States because the African Americans are here. Okay? Because the Mexicans are here. Because the Puerto Ricans are here. Because the motherfucking native people of this land are here. Because the Asian people are here. I want to stay here. And I just want to literally figure out, like, how are we going to literally, like, take our soul back from these SS officers? How are we going to do it? Because they got the whole world around their fucking finger because they... fun, entertainment, and also let's seduce them, and then they won't even notice that we motherfucking took over. Do you know what I'm fucking saying? Where's the 2012 Twitter quote from Trump? Bitch, come on. Is anyone else here on this level, or is everyone motherfucking, I don't know, an idiot? Just leave the fucking African Americans alone. From Lavrov all the way down to the motherfucking Russian media outlet in Evanston, Illinois, by where I live in Chicago, Chirac, Illinois. Okay, bitch? Asking some poor African American woman about her experience with reparations, also known just salary. They did all the work. You know, it's like, who's the lazy savages? The Europeans. They didn't even love their kids enough to raise them. Oh, bitch, you haven't read anything. And you're coming over here, taking an interview with her, and then in your Russian language, while she doesn't know the African-American woman, translating it all and trashing her and the entire African-American population because you need somebody to motherfucking project it onto because you can't handle your own fucking soul being fucked up and betrayed. You feel me?